Alrighty, so we're here with our maiden voyage, that'll make sense in a minute, of the Dead End Friends podcast. It's our pilot episode, so there still may be a few little rules hiccups, but we're going to use our discretion if there's anything, because we're using a pretty old system. It's the Deadlands Classic. I'm the marshal, WarsmithBrad. I generally just go by Brad, and I'll be, essentially, the marshal is this game's turn for the game master, or the dungeon master, if you will. And our campaign is got 3 cast members, and we're just going to go through them now. So first we have the Rodent Revolutionary Council.
Hello, I'm playing Victor Graves.
Yep. What's his deal?
He's the lawman. All he wants to do is uphold the peace and stability of his mother country, the United States of America. God bless.
Cool. And then also we've got Mag, and he's playing Wilhelm Wat.
Hi, I'm Mag. I'm playing Wilhelm Wat. He is a Wat, and he's a good kid. He's answering a call to action on behalf of his family.
Excellent. And then our final cast member is Kerry Creation, and she's playing Chinoa Whitaker.
Hey guys, I'm Kerry Creation. I'm playing Chinoa Whitaker, my half Native American, half Caucasian shaman woman.
Excellent. And a little bit about this setting. So, the Deadlands setting is similar to the real world Old West, except it's a little bit weirder. Hence, it's generally referred to as the Weird West. We're not going to go too much into it because it's easier to show you guys, not tell. But the important thing is this timeline has diverged from our own. The Civil War was extended to a brutal 10 years, which has left the United States, after the war has been resolved, completely ravaged. There's some strange things going along in the West. People disappearing, bumps in the night. It's not a good time to be alone out in the wilderness in the West at the moment. But there'll be more on that later. What's funny is our story isn't actually beginning in the Weird West. It's actually beginning in the Weird South, if you will. Our party aren't actually a party at the moment. They've arrived in Shreveport, Louisiana, and they're currently at a dock getting ready to board a paddle steamer called the Bayou Bride. We're going to pick up with our first cast member, Victor Graves, as he arrives. So why don't you just describe a little bit what Victor looks like, what he's doing here at the docks at Shreveport, ready to board the Bayou Bride. There's currently a line of people, passengers, and there's also a few staff members out the front on the dock, directing people to quarters and things like that.
All right, so Victor Graves is probably a pretty average height individual, probably like 5'10", 6 foot, something like that. Dressed in like a black suit with like a white undershirt and one of those little like shoestring bow ties.
Yep.
And he's got like a wide brimmed flat hat. He's got like a cigarette, gloves, a couple of holsters, and he's riding up to the dock on his horse.
I believe your horse has a name, doesn't it?
Yes, my horse does have a name. I'm riding up to with my horse Grim.
Grim and Graves.
The dynamic duo.
Yeah, not going to be a duo for long though.
No. So he'll ride up, probably get off his horse, and then he'll just go stand in line because presumably he has a ticket.
Yep.
Or is buying a ticket.
So your employer has provided you with a ticket.
Mm-hmm.
You can go into a little bit about your employer if you like, or we can keep it a little bit of a mystery for now. Lips are sealed. I mean, that's pretty good practice for you.
I need to get into the
regards to your employer.
Yep.
So you're waiting in line. You're actually not first in line. You're probably second in line. There looks like there's a young couple ahead of you. You see, there is a few staff members. They're all wearing a uniform. They're wearing like white suits. They look pretty fancy. However, it's kind of spoiled by the fact that they kind of look a little bit shabby. A few frayed edges here and there, a couple of little stains on these suits. It looks like they try to make a good impression, and then once the boat gets going on, they might become a little bit less formal. As far as the boat itself, it's a paddle steamer. It's called the Bayou Bride.
Mm-hmm.
It sails back and forth up the Red River. It's As far as the condition of the ship, it doesn't look like massively dilapidated or old, but it's definitely seen better days. It's got white paint, but a lot of it is peeling in certain places. Little bits of rust on metalwork. It's definitely... It's probably in the later stages of its life, but it's definitely I want to say seaworthy, but river-worthy vessel. For now, at least.
For now.
For now. You do see that there is a man who has a hat on, and you're guessing he's the captain, and he's shaking people's hands as they come up to the front of the line. A couple ahead of you get escorted up onto the boat by staff, and then this man approaches you. He's got like a white hat on, again kind of a shabby white suit, and you notice he does have a pistol sidearm. And he approaches you and is like, "Captain Jed Hawkins," and he extends a hand out to you.
Graves will hold out his hand and be like, "Graves,
"Welcome aboard, Graves. You got your ticket?"
Here you go. Here's my ticket."
He looks at it, signs off on a little ledger. "Why don't you follow my first mate there? He'll take you to your room."
All right, thank you very much.
Cool. So his first mate looks like he's related to Jed, but he is a lot younger. Jed looks to be in maybe his like late 40s, early 50s, where this guy looks to be in maybe his early 30s. And
right.
He says, "His name's Samuel. I'll show you to your room. I'm the first mate on the vessel."
Thank you very much, Samuel. You have any relation to the captain?
Yeah, he's my uncle. God damn it. And he takes you aboard the ship. As far as the cleanliness of the ship, there has been an effort to keep the ship clean. The deck itself looks in much better condition than the rest of the outside of the ship's paintwork. He takes you into inside the ship. He says, "This is the saloon. They'll be open from 6 till 8. You're welcome to drinks. Our resident bartender will take good care of you. Your room's just below deck." And he escorts you down a set of stairs. Takes you to a room. It's not a fancy room. It's only got a single bed in it, a chest of drawers, and a mirror. That's about it. It's not particularly fancy. You do have a little window, a little porthole window sticking out the side, but it doesn't look like it's going to let in much natural light at all. There is like a lantern that you can light and a set of matches.
Yeah. All right.
He says, I'll leave you to set up, but come find myself or any of the other staff members. You'll recognise us by our uniforms, and we're happy to answer any questions."
Thank you very much.
Cool. So Samuel leaves the room, and you're left alone in your cabin.
Graves is he's probably got like a backpack or like a suitcase, something like that. And he's gonna drop that off into the corner of his room.
Yep.
And then he's immediately gonna turn around. He's gonna leave the room.
Yep.
And he's gonna go back to the bar.
Cool. You go up to the saloon. Currently, there's no bartender sitting there at the moment. There are a few more people that are slowly getting filtered onto the deck. You see another staff member escorting another individual down to a cabin, presumably to the one next to yours. But onto the standard fare deck. You weren't treated to first class. Your employees didn't seem that keen to give you the first class. I think it's saloon class. I think they used to call it.
That's fine. I'm used to roughing it.
But you, you'll be comfortable here at least.
Yeah. Seeing as the Graves is going to wait at the bar for the bartender, but while he's sitting there, he's just going to watch everyone coming on. And anytime a name is mentioned, he's going to write the name in the book in like a little book, and then he's going to write a short description of who they are,
cool,
including the staff as well. So he's just keeping track of everyone who's entering the boat and waiting for the bartender.
You're sitting around in the saloon for a few minutes, and you see a young kid who looks maybe like 17 or 18. He says, "You're going to be waiting there a while, mister. Old Suds isn't going to be at the bar for a few more hours."
You know the bartender kid?
Yeah, he's my old man.
Oh, really? Say, you must see a lot of interesting folks coming on this boat.
Yeah, for sure. I help carry their luggage.
Well, that's mighty interesting, son. I was wondering if you could answer a couple of questions about a previous member of the previous passenger.
Yeah, sure, mister. What, anyone you looking for?
Yeah, I'm looking about yay high. Wears a suit similar to mine, similar hat, similar build.
He looks at you and he says, "Ah, yeah, I might have seen someone like that, similar clothes, but I can't really remember. Maybe a tip might help jog my memory."
I'll give him the tip of something in a minute. Give him the tip of my hand. Just give him a smack. No, yeah, Graves is he's gonna reach into his back pocket and he's gonna pull out I think they call it a golden crown or golden eagle. It's like $5 or something.
Yeah, $5. That's a lot of money.
Yeah,
that's like what this kid would earn in months of work.
I don't know. I'm gonna commit.
You could probably slip this kid like
50
cents.
No, it's fine.
That would make him very happy. Hell, even 25 cents would.
Do you think your father would recognize a man like that as well?
Oh yeah, my dad. He sees everyone in here. You know, every adult likes to drink.
All right. Tell you what. Here's a golden eagle.
He looks wide-eyed because that's probably the most money he's ever held.
And when your father gets here, I've got some questions for him.
Well, I can go wake him up.
Nah, it's fine. Let him sleep. We got time.
All right, mister. Well, I can tell you about that guy in the same clothes.
That'd be much obliged.
He was here probably about 2 months ago.
Mm-hmm.
And very strange. We went along our usual route, heading north, and he jumped off the side. Him and a woman.
A woman? What'd she
Yeah.
look like?
Well, she was one of our staff members.
What?
She was one of the hostesses.
Do you know her name?
Yeah, it was Morgan.
And then Graves fishes his book out and writes the name down. Could you describe her?
Well, she was thin, pale and sickly. Looked like a stiff breeze would have knocked her over. And she spent an awful lot of time with that man. And they jumped off the side. I saw them, and no one believes me.
Is it along this route they jumped off the side?
Yes, sir.
Could you tell me where it is when we pass it?
Yeah, I think so. I mean, it was a couple of months ago, but I'm pretty sure. Yeah.
Tell you what. You spend the rest of the afternoon trying to fish up a good memory, and there's another couple of dollars in it for you.
All right, well, I'll come find you later to see if I can find something else.
Thank you very much, boy.
Cool. He grabs the coin and scurries off, presumably to get back to work because he is loading luggage.
Yeah, he has an actual job.
He has an actual job to do. But yeah, this is a very strange occurrence.
It is a very strange.
What does Victor do from there?
I think he's going to wait until all the passengers, or at least until he thinks all the passengers have come onto the boat, and he's got if he's possible, a name and a description of them, and then he's going to go back to his room.
Yep. Cool. So you head back to your room. You're probably going to have to be waiting a few hours, probably after the boat departs, before this kid's dad's going to be at the boat.
Actually, he's probably just going to take a spot on the railing and have a smoke and just wait.
Yep.
Do the Red Dead Redemption, take a smoke out, pastime thing.
Yeah. Excellent. Alrighty. So, our next character, who is currently in the middle of the line, was Chinoa Whitaker, and you've been standing in line for a little while, and you notice a few people give you a little bit of a side eye every now and then. One individual, a particularly large man, spits on the ground when he sees you. you don't think you're well liked around these parts.
Chinoa is very used to that. So Chinoa is a 19, 20-year-old, like I said, half Native American, half Caucasian woman, and it is coming up already. Thanks, Brad. She has green eyes. She's wearing very, very well-made but handmade clothes, as is very typical for her. She has long, whitish blonde dreadlock hair, and she wears a headband with two little deer antlers attached to them. And because she's in Louisiana at the moment, she probably doesn't have her face paint on, but she normally wears a strip of red face paint across her eyes. And she's going to be waiting in line. She's probably put her horse to board already, and she's detached one of its saddlebags because she doesn't carry a backpack. She just keeps all of her stuff in a saddlebag normally.
Yeah.
So she's just got the saddlebag with her while she's waiting in line, and every time someone gives her a side eye, or that guy that spat at the ground near her, she just smiles, nods, and averts eye contact.
Yeah. So you eventually come to the front of the line, and you see a young guy in his 30s. It's like, I'm first mate Samuel. I'll show you to your room. You just got your ticket, please.
Pleasure. And she hands over her ticket.
Cool. He looks at ticket. You think he takes a little bit more time checking the ticket than he does the others, but he nods and marks off on a little ledger he's got. And it's like, follow me, ma'am. And he takes you up onto the deck of the boat. Takes you into the saloon, and he says, this is the saloon. In a few hours, old suds will be serving drinks. So there'll also be some live music as well. And I'll show you down to your room. And he takes you down. He takes you towards the back of the boat, because they generally keep single women separate from... So they generally have the families in the middle, single men up the front, single women up the back. That's
Makes
a
sense.
thing that they used to do on cruise ships as well.
Honestly, I thought that she was getting taken down the back because they're like, this is where we throw the riffraff.
Yeah, no, it's a
safety thing. That's fine.
It's what they used to do back in the old days. But he takes you towards the back of the boat where there is little cabin for you. It's nothing too special, just a single bed, chest of drawers, and a mirror. He says, "This is your room. If you have any problems, consult myself or one of the staff members. Then we'll see it resolved."
All right. Thank you kindly, sir.
He nods and leaves you alone in the cabin. Just as you're sitting alone, you put down your saddlebag and you hear the horn of the ship, and it sounds very familiar. The horn of the ship. You've heard it before.
Would she know off the top of her head where she's heard it before, or is this?
You've heard it at the start of your dreams, probably for the last 3 months.
Okay, so it's more of like a horn than a bell.
Yeah.
Interesting. All right. So she's listening to the horn of the ship, and she kind of nods to herself a little bit, and she's like, all right, and she's gonna put down her bag, and she's going to So she's got a blanket with her, and there's a mirror in the room. She's just going to cover up the mirror.
Yep.
And then she's going to put her stuff down, and she's just going to, the blanket goes over the mirror, and she's going to leave the room, lock it behind her, or what? Do they have locks? I don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah, she locks it behind her, and...
So they can be locked, but obviously the staff members have the keys as well, so they could.
So they can get in if they need to.
Potentially can unlock it.
Yep. And she's just going to head up to the deck of the ship, where she can hear the bell or the
horn.
The horn better.
Yeah. You do the horn doesn't go again, but you do hear the bell this time, and the bell sounds super familiar. It's the exact same one for your dream as well. So, in your dreams, you've had a horn and then a bell.
All right. Is she able to go, see where the bell is?
Yeah, so the bell's up near the front of the ship.
Yeah, so she's going to be hanging around in that sort of area.
Yeah.
Just up on the deck of the ship, trying to keep as much of like a low profile as possible
Yep.
and just staying out of people's way, but being near where that bell is.
Excellent. You're hanging around it. There's a cable that attaches to the bell that leads up to the bridge of the ship. I assume it's a bridge. The helm of the ship. There is no one at the actual wheel of the ship, but there is a individual up there. You can't really tell who they are, not from the angle that you're looking up at it, because it is up on like an elevated deck. But there's definitely a staff member up there, for what it's worth. And he was obviously just pulling the horn and the bell, just as a bit of fun for the passengers. At a guess, there doesn't seem to be anything wrong.
There's probably like children running around laughing, being like, "Oh, this is great."
Yeah, there are a few people running around. So we then jump to our next character, Wilhelm Wat. You're standing in line. You're towards the back of the line. You arrived a little bit late, but the ship hasn't left yet, so you don't have to wait for long because most of the passengers have boarded. Sure enough, you see an older gentleman in a hat, and he's like, "Captain Jed Hawkins, ticket please."
Well, howdy, sir. Here you go.
He takes a ticket, signs off on his ledger, and he says, "The young boy will show you to your room, sir." And you see a 17-year-old kid. He goes to grab your bag.
No, that's quite all right, Sonny. I'll handle my own bags. I still consider myself in the prime of youth.
Cool. So this kid nods and is like, "Well, follow me, mister." And he takes you up onto the deck, into the saloon. He said, my old man, the bartender, will be serving drinks in a few hours. So you got that to look forward to. We'll also have some live music. And I'll show you to your room now. So he takes you down the stairs. So there's some stairs that connect up to the saloon. That he leads you down to a deck, leads you towards the front of the ship. There's a few rooms. There's a few people milling about in the hallway, and he takes you into one of the cabins. The room again, no frills. It's got a bed, a chest of drawers, and a mirror. And he says, "You can come find a staff member if you need a hand. Anything else, sir?"
Oh, absolute pleasure, son. Absolute pleasure.
Cool. He immediately just runs off.
Very well. I'm going to have a look around my room, see if there's anything out of place or if
Yep. All right.
any presents left by anyone.
That's actually a good little segue because you can roll me I believe it's a cognition search. Now, if you don't have it, everyone has 1 point in cognition search.
Yep, so I have 1d8 for this roll.
Yep. And you'll be looking for a 5.
And it's the first roll of the session.
It is.
That's a 4. That is not a success.
Cool. You don't find anything out of the ordinary. It looks like the room's been recently cleaned. As far as the linens look a little bit shabby, but you know the bed doesn't seem that uncomfortable. But nothing out of the ordinary.
All right, very well then.
Where does Wilhelm go after he's dropped off his items?
Yep. Once he's put his bag down, he is going to start wandering around the ship basically.
Yep.
He's just having a look around, seeing what he can see, seeing if anyone stands out to him maybe.
Yep.
He does keep looking over his shoulder a bit to see if anyone's looking at him.
Yep. Not really. There's no one's really paying too much mind to you. Most people are just minding their own business or setting up their rooms. There are a few children running around in the hallways, being a little bit of a nuisance, but nothing out of the ordinary.
All right. Then Wilhelm is going to make his way towards the saloon.
Yep.
Because that would see the most traffic.
Yep.
And he's just going to wander in and see what he can see.
Cool. There's only about 2 people in the saloon, neither of which are staff member. They look like passengers. The bar is currently closed. And they just seem to be sitting on a lounge, talking about something. But you're not really eavesdropping unless you want to.
No.
Excellent.
No, Wilhelm's got some semblance of manners, so he is going to... He looks around, and he's going to take his leave and wander more around the ship.
Excellent. You get up onto the deck, and you do run into the captain. As you exit the saloon, you almost run into him, but he manages to stop just in time. And he's like, "Oh, sorry there, partner."
The apology's all mine, sir. I nearly bowled you over, or was bowled over in turn.
He says, "We'll be departing in a few minutes, so make yourself comfortable."
Oh, that's mighty kind of you, sir. Thank you very much.
He does go past you and heads into through a door, which rather crudely, I want to say, is just painted on saying staff only, and he heads in there. And it's written in like red paint, and it doesn't match the decor at all, because the boat is like almost completely white, aside from the actual deck, which is like a natural timber.
Yep. Enough warning bells have been set off for Wilhelm that he's going to go find a corner where he can see the most stuff and generally keep his back to it.
Yep. So you could go towards the back of the boat, looking forward. What do you think?
Yeah, the back of the boat would probably be safer because people would tend to look forward when they're on vehicles of sorts, I imagine. On the flip side, he also doesn't want to go creep out all the women. So he is going to... He's just going to keep wandering, but he's going to do his best to not put his back to large groups of people. And he's going to try and get a further layout of the boat then.
Yep. You do a little bit of exploration on the boat. Are you just going to be exploring the deck of the boat outside, or are you going to be going into the bows of the ship? Or
Start with the outside and then go into the bows.
Cool. As you're wandering outside, you do see a few interesting characters. The first one you notice is a man dressed in black. He's sitting at the side of the ship, looking out at the dock. He's just having a cigarette, minding his own business. Up the front there is a strange woman wearing Native American outfit. She looks very out of place here, but you know that the Bayou Bride travels along the Red River, and the Red River borders the Sioux Nations. So maybe she's returning home. You don't know.
If it helps, she looks just as uncomfortable to be here as what she should.
Everyone would be aware of this, but as far as the route of the vessel, it travels up the Red River. It's heading to the town of Denison in Texas. The Red River is actually a pretty not the safest place to travel because it borders with the Sioux Nations, and sometimes people will illegally travel into the Sioux Nations for hunting. And I'll get everyone to roll me probably maybe a academia history, or for Chinoa, because Chinoa's not from the Sioux Nations.
She is from the Sioux Nations.
She is from the Sioux Nations. Cool. So you can roll me home country, so area knowledge home country.
Fantastic.
Everyone else could roll me either area knowledge Sioux Nations or academia history.
Cool. I'm going to roll this. Because I assume you're not trained in it either. So because we're not trained in this, we get to roll just our knowledge and at a -4 penalty.
Spot on.
On a 6-sided dice.
So not knowledge specifically. So for instance, my character has a knowledge of 3d8, but you would roll, for instance, if I was rolling academia, I have no training in that, so I would roll 1d8 with a -4 penalty.
Spot on.
Yeah. So
That's what we're rolling.
I have 2 in my home country, so I'll be rolling 2d8. One of them explodes because I got an 8, and then I got a 5. So
Cool.
that's 13.
Yep, so that is a success and a raise,
Fantastic.
which is pretty obvious because, you know a lot about your home country.
I go bust.
Oh, okay.
So I got 2 1s out of 4 dice.
Do you have 4 dice in that?
Yeah, I have a 4 in knowledge.
It's not your knowledge roll.
It's a knowledge academia, isn't it? And I don't
Yeah.
have any. I don't have.
So it's 1 dice.
I thought it was the.
Yeah, it's 1 dice minus 4.
Yes.
Okay, well, we're still learning.
That's all right.
Hey, it explode. That's still low. What was the DC?
DC with 5.
What did you get?
I got 8 minus 4, so 4.
Okay.
So close.
Rough, yeah.
Yep, and Wilhelm?
Much less than that. I got like a 1. I got a -2, sorry.
So yeah, you guys know that the Sioux Nations, it's Native American lands. They don't really like outsiders coming in. They've had problems with outsiders coming in before, and they're probably going to have problems with outsiders coming in for quite some time.
Yeah,
You've never been. All you know is if the boat sinks somewhere along the Red River and you guys are bordering Texas, go south instead of north. Because
Yeah.
north you will end up on the wrong side of the river, and it's a lot more dangerous on that side for you too.
It's fine. My jurisdiction ends at that border, so I don't need to know what happens on the other side.
Yeah.
Excuse me, we are a lovely people because to get to the most of Sioux Nations, you go through the North Cheyenne tribe, which is mine, and we are lovely. Thank you very much.
I'm sure you are.
So, Chinoa, you know that the Sioux Nations, the actual land itself, it's not necessarily a curse, but technology doesn't function well in
Yeah.
the Sioux Nations. So, mass-produced items, mechanical items, higher technology, they tend to fail. It's a very odd phenomenon that happens there, where a lot of like handmade items will last, things like bows, but things more mechanical, things like guns and the like, just tend to fail after.
All these unnatural things.
Yeah, mass-produced items tend to not last long in the Sioux Nations.
This is, of course, why Chinoa, I made a point of mentioning she's wearing all handmade clothes. Very good quality, but handmade.
Yeah, I mean, your average, Western clothes wouldn't fail in the Sioux Nations. But
Oh, of course, but there's other reasons for it as well.
Basically, the more intricate and elaborate a piece of technology is, the more likely it is to fail in the Sioux Nations. It's very strange. It's a very strange phenomenon that happens there.
Yeah, for Chinoa as well, the handmade clothes and everything, also very important for her role and her abilities.
Sure enough, the Bayou Bride will depart. The bell goes off. Again, Chinoa, you feel like you're getting deja vu, because you've definitely heard this bell before in your nightmares.
Many times.
But you get a strange feeling that you're on the right path. It's very difficult to describe, but you get a feeling that you know you're supposed to be here. You guys are departing. It's in the morning. It's probably about 10 o'clock in the morning, so it's a bit of a late departure, if anything. But it is on schedule as far as you're concerned. That's what the ticket said, and it starts to head north. You leave the city. There's a few people waving goodbye, and you don't really know the reason why a lot of people will be traveling along this route. They could just be heading north. They could be just on a pleasure cruise, because the Bayou Bride does have a few amenities that would lend itself to that kind of thing. But it does also have a cargo hold, which you're not sure if it has anything loaded at the moment. You could find out, but it's not a big issue for you at the moment.
Probably has a couple of horses down there.
It does. So it does have a stable down below.
So it'll have our horses.
Yeah, which has your horses. Does Wilhelm have a horse?
He does. He has Willow.
Willow. Nice.
Aww.
That's very horse.
Yeah, all your horses are safe below deck. You would have had to pay a little bit more on your ticket for lodging, feed of the horse, but you've already sorted that out. So the boat departs, and a few hours are going to pass, and sure enough, you hear an announcement from the crew members that the saloon is open and serving refreshments, and this is about midday when that happens.
Yep.
All right, so I have a question for you, Brad.
Yep.
The marshal. Is now a good time to draw our fate chips for this session?
So everyone needs to draw fate chips at the start of the session, and what they do, first of all, the most important thing, in my opinion, that fate chips do is they allow you to purchase advancements for your characters, but they also do a lot of other things, like help you defeat your enemies, help you to shrug off damage, which is very important, as we all knew from our practice combats that we did. So at the start of every session, we all draw 3 fate chips, and there's technically 4 different types of fate chips, but only 3 that we need to worry about right now. There's white fate chips, blue fate chips, and red fate chips, with the blue ones being the best. They're the most valuable, followed by red, followed by white. And we have a big pot of them that we all get to draw from.
They're actually literally poker chips.
They are literal poker chips.
And they're meant to be poker chips too.
And I don't actually have to tell you guys what I've drawn. It's actually good to keep it a secret. But for now, I've drawn a red and 2 whites.
Better than me, I drew 3 whites, the lowest one.
I also drew 3 white chips, the lowest value.
Literally the worst possible draw.
I have drawn 2 whites and a red, making me the man with one eye among the blind.
Yeah.
But unfortunately for Chinoa has the Nightmare's hindrance.
My night terrors.
Yeah, so I need Chinoa to make me a spirit check, because Chinoa has really rough sleep. Almost every night is an ordeal for her.
So every session I'm going to be rolling a spirit check. My spirit is 4d12. Thank goodness. And I believe it is
it's a 7.
7, yeah. Okay.
And if you fail, you lose one of your lowest fate chips. If you pass, you are fine. And if you go bust, which is the majority of your dice are 1s, you lose your highest value fate chip.
Luckily this time, my highest dice is a 10. I
Okay.
pass, we're good.
Yeah. So despite your pretty miserable sleep that you had the previous night, you do get to keep all your fate chips.
Being on the right path is just helping me out.
As you guys are kind of settling in, is anyone heading into the saloon?
Yeah. So Graves takes like the last drawer of his cigarette and flicks it out into the river, and then he coughs like 2 or 3 sharp coughs, and then turns around and walks back inside.
Chinoa will be going into the saloon as well. Again, she's still like head down, trying to keep a low profile.
Where's Wilhelm going? Is he going into the saloon, or is he going to hang out on the deck?
Wilhelm is going to explore the boat a bit more,
Yeah.
and then he is going to make his way into the saloon, because that's where the most people will probably be.
Yeah, people tend to be congregating in there.
He'll just be a bit behind.
The saloon itself is quite large. There is 2 poker tables in there, and a pool table as well. Billiards. And the bar is quite long. It stretches basically the entire narrow side of the saloon. Now, I believe Graves was going up to the bar. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Mm-hmm. You see a man standing behind the bar. He's got like red hair. Looks like he's polishing the glass. He's just finished serving one of the other patrons.
Afternoon, bartender.
Afternoon, sir.
I'd like a drink. Something not too strong.
Not too strong. A beer, perhaps.
Yes, please.
Cool. So he pours you up a nice glass of beer, and slides it on your way.
Thank you very much.
He asks, "Do you want me to start a tab there?"
Nah, it's alright. And then he's gonna pull out another $5 coin. another $5, and he's gonna slide it across, and he's gonna be like, "That should cover the drink and a couple of questions."
He looks and is like, he immediately assumes you're rich, just handing out $5.
I'm not rich. I'm just generous. I'm a good boy. I just want people to answer my questions.
Bear in mind, a glass of beer is 5 cents.
Yeah, that's fine.
He looks like. I assume you're going to be drinking a lot.
We'll see. Depends on how productive this conversation is.
He takes the $5 and pockets it, and he kind of leans in real close. Like, what would you like to know, sir?
I'm interested in a woman that used to work here. Her name is Morgan.
Oh yeah. She helped me serve customers a couple months ago. Strange woman.
How so?
She was just a strange woman. She kept quiet. Didn't really. She claimed she was experienced. She
Claimed.
she was terrible. She spilled drinks everywhere. Made a mess. She rushed. She wasn't cut out to be a waitress. Let's just say it like that.
And she associated with another man that you traveled on the ship. Is that right? A passenger? About yay height.
There's a lot of passages about yay height.
A couple of months ago. Disappeared about the same time.
You've been talking to us. You've been talking to my son, haven't you?
That I have. Seems like a nice kid.
It's like he's been spinning yarns about people jumping overboard.
Did you see where either of them got off? By any chance?
No, I assume they would have got off at Denison. She obviously bailed. She never took her pay, which was odd, but I assume her and the man she was with were quite smitten. So they to me they just ran off together.
All right. How long was she on the ship for? How long did she work here?
Not long, probably about a month.
All right. Did she ever have any issues? Did she look rushed or scared or anything like that?
I mean, she always looked tired.
Tired.
Yeah, always looked tired. It didn't really. She looked tired. She didn't behave tired.
Ever
She was always very pale, thin.
sickly?
Yeah, I guess you could call her sickly.
Did she have any fascination with cards? Ever see
Cards?
her with a hand of cards?
Not that I ever noticed.
All right then.
He kind of fascination with cards. I mean, we do have poker at night, but she served drinks. She was working, so she never played. I did sometimes catch her watching the poker games, but sometimes I watch the poker games, so it's not really I wouldn't call it a fascination. It's just entertainment.
One last question. Did hear anything strange from her during the nights? Anything like that?
During the nights, well, no, because she was in obviously separate quarters. In with the other single women, so I had nothing to do with her at night. She showed up for work on time. That she did her duties. I want to say she did them well, but she didn't. But she was punctual. I'll at least give her that.
Thank you very much.
He nods and says, "You come back for another drink. This is going to keep you well watered for a while." And he flicks the coin between his hands.
I don't think I'm going to be doing much drinking tonight, or any time on this journey. So why don't you keep a hand of it? And then Graves is going to stand up and leave.
Cool.
And he's going to start heading up to the captain's,
Yeah.
the bridge, the helm. Playing too many space games, too much sci-fi.
Yep. Chum.
This is when I'd like to make a suggestion that you might want to do one of your occult rolls. See if it sounds anything fishy.
Yeah, you could try.
It's a bit inspecific. That would be my only worry. We'll give it a shot.
I mean, that just means it would be a harder roll.
Got an explode.
Cool, nice.
Ace.
Got another explode.
Two aces.
My god. He's a genius. 14
14.
on a D6.
Um,
Oh my god.
you do have a bit something twinges like the fact that she apparently looked pale and sickly. You do have an idea of maybe asking about the color of her eyes.
Did she what did her eyes look like?
Oh, she had beautiful green eyes. It was her best feature. And Victor, you've heard of the Wataleys before, and you suspect that this woman could have been a Watale. You know that they are an odd family. They're associated with the occult, and some tend to delve in darker magics.
I feel like this is also a good time to point out that there's a character at the table that hasn't described their character.
Yeah, he did. He mentioned that he had green. Did he?
No.
I haven't mentioned it, but that's because I've got a piece of art on the screen right now.
Yeah, but we all described our characters.
Yeah, just leave him alone. Don't bully him. No bullying. All right, Graves is going to be like, all right then. Tell you what, you keep that coin. Keep what's left of it after this beer, and you don't mention to anyone what you just told me.
He said, "The lips are sealed, sir."
Thank you very much. Now y'all have a pleasant evening. And then he's going to get up and leave.
Meanwhile, down the end of the bar, there's like Chinoa sitting there, like with her hands in front of her face. She hasn't heard anything that's going on. She's just like waiting for the barkeep, but she doesn't want to make a fuss about it.
He does come over to you after he's finished talking with the stranger wearing black, and he says, "Drink for you, ma'am."
This might be a bit of a weird request. Do you serve coffee?
He's like, "Coffee? Sure do. Just give us a minute."
I would love a cup of coffee. Thank you so much.
Cool. So he serves you up with coffee. It's okay. It's not great, but it's passable.
All right. How much does that cost her?
The coffee is only going to cost you like 5 cents.
Fantastic. Cool. So she'll pay the 5 cents, and then she's just gonna go find like a table somewhere in the saloon that's probably towards the edge near the corners somewhere, so she can just sit down out of the way.
Cool. Wilhelm, what are you up to in the saloon? Were you in the saloon? I forgot.
Wilhelm is entering the saloon. He's one of the later ones to enter, so it'll probably be after.
So unfortunately, most of the seats are taken. The only seats that are available now are actually at the bar itself. All the tables and booths are all taken at the moment.
How dare you? My table probably has spare seats at it. No one's sitting with me.
You probably walking in at the same time Graves is leaving.
That's true. As you walking in, Graves, you do walk past Can you describe what Wilhelm looks like?
Absolutely. So Wilhelm is a young man. He is about 18 years old. He looks a bit gaunt, like he's pretty pale, and seems a bit sleep deprived as well. He also has vibrant green eyes.
Do I need to do a roll to notice that?
No, you walk right past him. You do see those eyes, and it immediately starts triggering alarm bells in your brain.
Graves walks past until he's past you, and then he stops, and then he turns.
Yep.
And then he's going to be like, "Do I know you from somewhere?"
Oh, sorry, sir, howdy. I'm afraid I don't quite recognize you, but...
I don't know, you look mighty familiar to me.
Oh, it's...
I know. I think I know you from the town up north. I can't remember the name. Tell you what, why don't I buy you a drink?
Yeah, sure thing, sir.
It's got a...
So, you turn around back to the bar.
Yeah.
The bartender, before he sees you come, change your mind.
Yeah, you know what, I feel like a drink. I met an old friend here.
Yeah, he's like, "I'll just finish up this coffee and I'll serve you up." And sure enough, he says this as he's finishing up making Chinoa's coffee, passes off the coffee to Chinoa, and pours out 2 glasses of beer.
Thank you. There you go, I'm me. Old friend.
Mighty kind of you, sir. And he's gonna... Wilhelm picks up his drink and is just sort of nursing it. Like, he slowly, barely sips it, and he's like...
Graves doesn't touch his. He doesn't drink at all. And he's just going to be like, "Where you going? You got on a vacation or something?"
Oh, sir, that's mighty personal, but I don't mind sharing. I've found myself looking for other people, actually.
Oh dear. Gonna go visit family then, or...
Yeah, family. Nail on the head. I'm quite sorry, sir. I'm afraid I can't quite remember your name.
That's fine. I think I know yours. Turley.
Wataili.
Whatever. I don't speak whatever language that is. Because it's sure as hell ain't English. It's American.
It's Welsh.
Yeah, exactly.
Welsh.
Yeah, exactly.
But yeah, sorry. So Wilhelm is, like, he's just sort of watching you, and he's like, "Well, that's pretty impressive, sir." He's eyeing Graves down, like it's a very careful, like, look. Like he's very intently watching you. Someone could like walk up behind him and literally pull his gun out of wherever, and he wouldn't notice.
All right, Graves rolls for quick draw. No, I draw my gun and I shoot him. No,
Chinoa starts
Blow his brains out in the
pickpocketing.
middle of the saloon.
yeah, just fuck. No,
Yeah,
and he's gonna be like, he's just gonna say, he's gonna be like, I've got a couple of questions, and if you answer them, there won't be no trouble from me. As long as you do nothing strange. You hear me? There's good folk around here. They don't like strange things, and I don't like strange things neither. So
Wow. Well, I say, sir, I wouldn't dream of doing anything strange, and much less causing any trouble. As long as you're not looking to start trouble, I'm perfectly happy to leave it like that.
good. Now I'm looking for a woman. I'm looking for somebody by the name of Morgan. She's got brilliant green eyes. Recognize her at all?
Wilhelm's eyes went wide at the mention of Morgan's name, but what he's going to say is, "No, I'm afraid I don't. I'm afraid that I don't recognize her by that description."
Scrutinizing. Because I'm scrutinizing.
Yeah. Well, we don't recognise it by that description.
Yeah, because he said brilliant green eyes.
Yeah.
Wilhelm is trying to be like, I am unfamiliar with that person because I don't know anyone with that kind of eyes description aside from me.
Yeah.
But this is, of course, a lie because he, in fact, received something from Morgan, is why he's here.
What are the
You
odds?
guys have to do a contested roll. So Victor is going to have to roll me. Is it scrutinise?
I think it's scrutinized. I hope it is.
It's probably scrutinized.
Yeah,
It'll
it'll
be
be
a-
a cognition scrutinise.
Versus a bluff.
Yeah, versus a smarts bluff.
Smarts bluff.
We are about to have a good time. I promise there won't be a lot of like PCs rolling against each other. This is mostly just like for fun.
No, I don't mind. This is perfectly justifiable.
No, I'm gonna straight up kill you if you.
He's got a point blank with a shotgun.
Yeah. This is a good time to mention that Graves he has two holsters on his hips, but they don't have pistols. He has two sawn-off shotguns on his hip.
I'm in danger. Yep, so for this particular roll, I am rolling a single d10 minus 4.
Yep, because you're untrained.
I'm rolling 3d12.
I got a 2.
I got an 11.
Yeah, he's. You could definitely tell that this character here is not being honest.
How many raises is that?
Sorry.
How many raises is that?
Yeah,
It's a couple. Cause I got, it's like
it's a
it's
lot.
like 4 raises.
You just know that he's omitting information, and whatever information he is revealing, it sure as hell ain't no truth.
Graves just casually like reaches into his pocket and pulls out like a tobacco pouch, and he starts rolling a cigarette, and he just looks at you while he's doing it, just like, come on. I'm not buying. He's just gonna slowly make it. Then he puts it in his mouth. He's real slow, and he like strikes a match off like his boot heel or something, and then he lights it, and he's gonna be like, "Do you want to answer that question again?"
I think I might. In the name of keeping things peaceful.
I ain't gonna hurt her. I ain't gonna hurt nobody. But she knows someone that I'm interested in, and I need to find him. He's a friend of mine, and I am mighty concerned about his well-being. And that, I promise you, is the truth. Now, if you help me find her, because Lord knows I think you're best equipped, better than me, to find someone like that, then I promise that there will be no harm coming to her. As long as she ain't hurting good folk, then I don't care what she does in her spare time. I don't care what you or your family gets up to.
Well,
What do you say, kid?
That's a mighty generous offer. So, as long as you're not going to do anything reckless. All I know about this Morgan is that I received a letter from her asking me to meet her here.
Well, she ain't here no more. She jumped overboard near a couple of weeks ago, near as I can find out. Her and a man, and that man is the one I'm looking for. But if they're connected, I think if I find one, I'm gonna find the other. I even know where they jumped off.
Wilhelm's eyes are racing, like, back and forth. This is clearly new information to him. And he is going to carefully say, I'm afraid I don't have any more leads.
Alright?
And that is the God's honest truth.
Y'all gonna be looking for her, though, yeah? So I propose a partnership. You help me find her, and she can tell me where my friend is. And then, after that, you and her are free to go. And I'll take my friend, and I'll ride off into the sunset. And you won't hear from me ever again, should you choose. And if she's in trouble, I'll lend my hand. And he's gonna put his hand on his hip to help him solve that trouble, especially if it's strange trouble. Or even weird trouble. Roll credits. That was so lame.
Are you getting up to anything weird out here in the
West.
Roll credits.
Smash cut to Will Smith rapping.
Wilhelm is considering this very, very seriously. And he's going to say, all right, sir. I think I can take you up on that deal. As long as nothing funny happens, I think this will work out just fine.
I think it will too. And he's going to take like a long drag of his cigarette and go, smoke.
No, I'm quite alright. I'm feeling quite healthy at the moment.
I'm plenty healthy. And he's going to hold out his hand. Thank you very much. And his like whole pot, he leans back over the bar, and he's just gonna be like, "All right then." And he's gonna have like a little smile. It's like, "I think that worked out well."
I'm glad.
If you have any trouble,
Great. What are you doing while you're drinking your coffee?
She's just trying to stay out. Like, she's trying to draw as for someone who's sitting there wearing antlers on her head, she's trying to draw as little attention as possible.
Yeah.
Because she just wants to. She's just planning on going about her trip, going where she thinks she needs to go, and trying not to piss anyone off.
Yeah. So, you were sitting at the bar, and were Wilhelm and Graves, they were they sitting at the bar when they're having this conversation, or were they standing?
Yeah, no, they're sitting at the bar at the moment. They've just shook hands and introduced themselves to each other.
Yeah. Does Chinoa want to roll me a I think maybe a condition search? It's more of a passive thing, so you can notice things.
notice what is
No.
a very tense standoff between two people, two armed people.
Yeah.
Oh, wait, are you armed?
I
A
am.
9.
Yeah.
A 9. Yeah, you notice that the two gentlemen sitting at the bar, like a couple of seats away from you, they're having a pretty tense conversation. You weren't listening to hear what it was about, but it looked pretty tense, and it looks like it's cooled off now. But for a minute there, it was.
Just getting ready to like duck and cover.
Yeah. Wait, do you make a decent look at the two gentlemen, or are you trying to keep your head down and?
So she probably like takes a sip of her coffee and she's trying really hard not to turn her head at all, but she tries to get like just a peek at both of them from
Yeah.
the corner of her eye.
You catch a glimpse at one of the men's eyes, and they look very familiar. It looks like it's...
God damn it, Graves.
It looks like these eyes are from your nightmares. They're not as violent as those ones, but
They're not as glowing either.
they're not glowing like they were in your nightmare, but they very familiar.
So Chinoa's just gonna, like... She's still keeping her head down. She's gonna keep an eye on the two of them. Because one of them looks very tense and was kind of intimidating, so she's gonna try and avoid that situation, and she's just gonna be watching Wilhelm and waiting to see what he's doing and where he's going. She's trying really hard not to draw attention to herself, but she's like focused in on him at the moment.
Yeah.
As she sips her coffee.
Yeah, Wilhelm, do you want to... You're pretty on edge at the moment, it's fair to say.
Yeah. He's the tension's relieved a little bit because this gentleman Graves has been like, well, this seems to work.
Did Graves ever share his name?
I don't think so.
No, we started introducing ourselves, but you've gone on to other stuff. So, in the background, we've shaken hands and introduced each other.
Yes.
That's Wilhelm and...
Yeah. So Wilhelm, you'll notice that the strange native woman at the other side of the bar has been slowly catching glimpses of you and then looking away.
Yeah.
She is so subtly not subtle. It's so hard to be subtle when you're her. She's literally a Native American with like white blonde hair and wearing antlers and in a place that's filled with primarily white people.
Yes.
Basically, she's probably the only person there who's not white, I assume.
Are
there many other Native Americans on?
No, there's no other natives on here.
Yeah.
Wilhelm is going to steel himself. He's going to...
If it helps, she's real pretty.
She is really pretty, but Wilhelm is more used to very negative attention when people are side-eyeing him.
She's not, like, she doesn't, like, if she notices that she's been caught, she just does, like, a little smile and then looks away and she's just like, sips her coffee.
Wilhelm's got an exhausted look on his face. He is going to stand up. He's going to say to Graves, I'm quite sorry, sir. I'm afraid I'm going to have to leave you for a few minutes.
Graves is just gonna he's gonna take like a lazy look around the room, like he just is not even remotely interested in being like, who are these people? He's interested in seeing where people are, but he doesn't take any note of what anyone actually looks like. He's just like, there's a person there. That's all I needed to know. And he's just gonna take a drag of his cigarette and be like, if you need any help, I need you alive and breathing, boy. So don't get into trouble.
Trouble is the last place I ever want to be, sir.
Yeah, but it's not always the last place you choose to be. Or can be.
That's true. I'm gonna go try and get a hold of this snake by the head before it decides to lunge. So, don't mind me.
I'm here if you need me. And then he takes like a sip of his beer.
So, whilst this is going on, the young deckhand that you spoke to earlier, Graves, he approaches you and he tugs on your coat.
The kid.
Yeah, he's 17.
Yeah, he's gonna be like,
and he's like, Mister, yeah, I found something, the belonging of the guy that you're looking for.
well, thank you very much, kid. And then Graves is gonna be like, show me.
He pulls out like a piece of paper. It looks like it's been scrunched up and folded back out.
Mm-hmm.
And it's a very crude drawing of a map of the Red River, and there's a bunch of crosses coming along the river, where it's a cross here and there along the river, and then there's a big concentration of crosses before the crosses fin out again, just before Denison.
Hey, kid.
It looks like it's been the side of the page is ripped, so it looks like it's been torn out of a notepad or something.
Graves is gonna take that off that kid. He doesn't take it. He's just like, that's mine now. He's like, thank you very much, kid. Would you happen to say that they jumped off somewhere before the town? What do you say the name of the town is?
Denison.
Yeah. Did you Would you say they jumped off not too far from Denison?
About 2 days out.
He's gonna look at the map.
And that the part where 2 days out from Denison is the part where the concentration of the crosses is.
Yeah, that's what I thought so.
Yeah.
And he's Graves like he looks at the map and he looks at it for a little bit longer, makes like couple of little notes, pulls out his little book, takes a couple of notes, and then he straight up just takes it, gets up, walks out, and piffs it into the river.
Yep. Yeah, it goes off into the river. No worries.
Yeah. And then he just puts his book back in, and he's like, "Thank you very much, kid. I wouldn't mention that you kept property from some of the old people around.
Oh no.
I wouldn't mention that you found that to anyone.
No worries, sir.
Thank you very much, boy.
He
Here you go. Have a beer on me."
his old man is behind the bar, so you don't know if that'll fly, but
Yeah.
because it's working. But
No, it's like the 1800s, right? 1900s.
yeah, but he's also he's working it.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
Children
can't-
drink it.
You can't sit down and have a beer. Buy him a shot instead.
He's a deckhand.
Yeah. Yeah. Children drinking, okay. Drinking on the job, bad.
And he's not really a child. Like 17 these days. Like
He
like,
could be wed.
He's old enough to get married. Like he's I don't know if he's old enough to vote yet. Probably not. But he's basically an adult already.
Right. Wilhelm is going to make his way over to the girl that's been eyeing him. He's going to find one of the open seats next to her, and he's going to sit down.
And funnily enough, her eyes are locked on her coffee like, oh no. Oh no.
And Wilhelm is going to say, "Howdy, ma'am. Can't help but notice I've caught your attention this afternoon. Just wanted to make sure that you weren't going to do anything rash in this fine establishment."
Rash?
"I'm sorry, ma'am. I was fairly certain I was about to get into a gunfight with that man over there. So if we can avoid that kind of situation, I'd really appreciate it, ma'am."
Chinoa's gonna like hold up her hands a little bit, and it's almost like a shrug, and she's just like, "Well, I don't have any guns, so that's a good step, right?"
That is reassuring.
I promise I didn't make you uncomfortable at all. I was just noticing you have very, very captivating eyes.
I see. All right. Well, thank you, ma'am. That's very kind of you to say. So, what brings you out onto this boat this afternoon?
Well, I'm kind of just traveling at the moment. I'm looking for something, and this is gonna sound so silly, but I feel like they look very similar to you, the person that I'm looking for.
Oh. Well, how about that?
I thought maybe you might be the person I was looking for. You wouldn't happen to be like heading up north ways at all?
Well, no, that's not so much. I'm looking for family, but I was supposed to meet them on this boat.
Curious. Maybe could you tell me more about him? Maybe that's who I'm looking for.
Oh. Yeah. All right. So, yeah, her name's Morgan. Morgan Wataili.
All right, Morgan.
I'm quite afraid I don't have any more information than that. I haven't met them myself.
So maybe you don't know whether or not she looks much like you, and the eyes and the.
Ma'am, who can say? There's a lot of people with green eyes, especially nowadays.
Not She's gonna lean in, a little bit, like she's really interested in you, and she's like, not magically green eyes like yours.
Wilhelm's lip does stiffen, like, for a moment, but then he's just gonna be like, "Oh man, you flatter me so, but no, it's a very common color. It's very, very common. You just gotta find the people that have them."
Well, maybe I'm looking for them, and maybe I found one. Maybe if you're looking for them too, I might be able to help you. I'm very good at getting information sometimes.
All right. Well, I very well can't turn down an offer to help. I appreciate that, ma'am. I'm afraid I'm a bit stumped at the moment. I was supposed to meet them on this boat, but I can't find them.
Chinoa's just gonna hold out her hand to you and be like, I'm Chinoa Whitaker.
Pleasure. My name is Wilhelm Wat.
Very nice to meet you, Mr. Wataili.
Just Wilhelm's fine, thanks.
Alright, sorry, Mr. Wilhelm.
Thank you, darling.
You were having a bit of a tense moment with the... Is that all alright?
Oh, I think so.
Alright, that's... I'm glad to hear that. Are you getting a drink?
No, I don't think I could drink after that, even if it's alright, but I'm quite alright, thanks.
We're going to end our session there, guys. I think we've set up what's going on with the characters, and there's a bit of a mystery afoot.
The mysterious Native American woman sitting at the bar. The man with the glowing green eyes.
They're not glowing. They're not.
Sorry, the brilliant green eyes.
Yet.
And the man dressed in black. It's a tale fit for the West. Roll credits. You were this close to getting a gut full of bullshit. I'm kidding.
No, I mean, if you did do that, it wouldn't have failed.
It's okay, we're also like this close to Chinoa either being like, I'm so sorry for bothering you, sir, or being like, hey there.
You're just straight up. You're just like...
Straight up, this is like...
Beginning of the first session, one party member dies and the other one just immediately extracts themselves from the situation, just leaves, makes 2 new characters.
That's it. I'm out.
Yeah, the whole camp. That's it. Game over, guys. That's the whole campaign. All right.
Morgan is dead, but her heart still beats.
Oh.
I believe that's what we call bad news.
And she's watching you.
Does she have green eyes?
No.
Cool. Graves shoots it.
Oh, okay.
Yep. Graves straight up just shoots it. After a second, Graves goes, "Shoot at it! I don't know where it is! Shoot anyway!